Welcome back to step number 9, closing with confidence. So I'm Jackie Perkins and I've been on a journey of talking about my 10 steps to solution selling. Now today when we talk about closing with confidence, I want us to revisit a concept that we spoke about in step 1, which is your internal dialogue. So remember we spoke about brand you and having a good, healthy, helpful and productive internal dialogue so that people could buy you before they bought your idea, your concept, your product or your service. It's the same with closing. If your internal dialogue is, I have to close now, it's going to come across through your nonverbals as an agenda that you need to achieve, and the person is going to feel on the other end that they actually have to resist it at all costs. So how do we make this just a natural, normal segue from asking the right questions, uncovering the needs, paraphrasing those needs into I've got the perfect solution for you, and they then come up with an objection and you go, awesome, you've got a question that's a request for information, let me use my 4-step objection handling process and immediately segue into a close as if it's just all part of a normal conversation. It has to do with your internal dialogue. So to illustrate this, I'm going to give you a real life example. So a couple of years ago, my husband and myself and our 3 kids went on holiday, and when we got there, the receptionist said, if you come to a presentation on timeshare, we actually will give you a Coles voucher to go and do your shopping. And I thought, awesome, I can get all our holiday shopping paid for, I just have to sit through a presentation. And my husband said, we are not buying anything. And I said, no, I just want the voucher. So off we trundled, and the woman who was there covered the first 8 steps to a T. She sold brand you, she asked the right questions, she uncovered all the unstated and secret needs, she listened, she paraphrased, and just as she was at the point that she was going to move into a close, her internal dialogue was, I can't close, I need to go and find someone to close this for me, where she actually had us in the bag had she known. So off she went to make us some tea under the guise of I'm just making tea, but in walked another gentleman who was the closer. And he sat down, put all the paperwork in front of us, and my husband went straight back into objecting. Now, the lady before him had used the objection handling process magnificently and had overcome every objection. But as soon as this guy walked in, my husband didn't have trust in him, there was no relationship, so we went right back to the beginning. But this time, when he threw an objection on the table, the closer, his internal dialogue was, oh shit, there's an objection and I'm supposed to be closing the deal here. And it transferred into his nonverbals. Now remember, your nonverbals are 93% of the message. So it wasn't anything obvious. It was just a subtle tightening of his lips as he started to respond. It was a subtle tightening of his eyes, a slight raise of the eyebrows, and just almost a hunch of his shoulders that said, I'm going into attack. So even though his words were polite and professional, his body language was, I'm going into attack, which just meant that my husband went into attack back, and we never went anywhere. And I could see the lady that actually was trying to get the deal sitting at the table next to us, and looking at her body language, she knew everything had been sunk. Yep, just like the Titanic, all went down underneath the waterline. Because he'd come in with an agenda to close and was scared that he wasn't going to close, his internal dialogue wasn't, I want to help you make an informed decision. I know we've got the right solution for you. I know we're meeting all of your needs. So I really want you to examine that internal dialogue. I'm here to help you make the best decision. I'm here to help you make an informed decision. So something I want you to think about is, what language do you use when you close? If your internal dialogue is, I'm confident that I'm offering you the best solution for your needs, then your language should reflect that. So let me know, what day next week would be the best day to sign the paperwork? Or when should we get started, Monday or Tuesday? Or what do I need to do so we can wrap this up? Confident, assertive language as if it's in the bag, because you know it's in the bag because you've done the previous 8 steps exactly right. If you've got a fence sitter, I suggest you ask some tension questions. You want to flip them one way or the other because you've lost them anyway. You might as well flip them to make the right decision. So tell me, if you were not to make a decision today, or if you were to say no, what options do you have? knowing that they don't have other options, or they haven't thought about other options, or tell me what are the benefits of delaying this decision, or let me know what are the consequences of delaying this decision. Really just getting them to think that sitting on this fence is not helping anyone. So by now, we really should be in a position to close confidently, get that internal dialogue working for you and asking those strong assertive questions at the end so that you can pull it all neatly together. Now we're ready for step 10, which is review and revise the previous 9 steps that we've covered. So I really look forward to seeing you for the final step 10, review and revise. Until next time, be bold, be curious.